I love OpenAI and I love ChatGPT. OpenAI, however, is worth $100 billion. When they were training GPT 3.5, they spent $29 million, I think. They probably spent even more on GPT-4. And God knows how much money they've spent in total. Then comes this Chinese startup with 5 employees and outperforming them on some things. And they're like 5 people in this company, and they spent $5 million on compute to train DeepSeek. Now, what does that teach us? It teaches us that it's not about money. If you're an entrepreneur today and you're looking for a $1 billion or something in like VC funds, then you already failed. You see, back in the days when I was implementing Magic and Hyperland, I actually consciously chose to not upgrade my computer because I wanted a bad computer. I seriously wanted to use a bad computer with slow CPU and slow memory. Why? Because I didn't want to spoil myself and end up implementing something that assumed it needed, too much power to be capable of running. And I realized that, if I could compile and run Magic on bad hardware, then it would obviously run on good hardware, right? So the restrictions we give ourselves are sometimes actually more important than the resources we give to ourselves. If you give, a human being, a poor guy, $1 billion, he's probably just going to waste everything, right? I mean, he's going to be broke within 24 months, highly likely. If you give that same man $10, he's going to be very careful with using it and making sure he has something to eat that particular day afterwards, and stretch that money as far as possible. So arguably for a poor man, $10 is actually more valuable than $1 billion. And let me illustrate that point by showing you something that I've created myself. This is Magic. If you've seen some of my previous YouTube videos, you already know what Magic is, but in case you don't know, I'm going to show you. So here I have SQL Studio. It allows me to graphically design my databases. I've already installed Chinook here, which I've used in several of my previous YouTube videos. Chinook is basically a database that is installed as a plugin here. And if I click install here now, it's going to automatically install the database. So the thing's got the ability to extend it with plugins and modules. I can do anything you wish. It contains the AI export system that you can see here, which is basically a ChatGPT front end that allows me to, search the web for Thomas Hansen Hyperlambda and create a summary. And if I go to SQL Studio, I can even click SQL View. I can use this guy combined with my Chinook database. I want to see our most valuable customers by, spending. Let's see what it comes up with now. Execute this SQL, and here you see, Holly Helena spent $49. Round to 2 decimals. Now if I execute this guy, you will see 2 decimals, etc. It contains, I can connect to any database I happen to have here externally, providing a connection string, MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server. I have my own IDE, HyperIDE, which allows me to, edit Hyperlambda in particular. You can use it for any programming language. I don't suggest it. It's terrible for anything but Hyperlambda. If I choose the album.get bugger here now, which is an automatically generated HTTP Web API endpoint, I can actually immediately retrieve JSON. And in fact, if I delete this module, let's just delete it for fun, right? And let's go. So now we just lost 10,000 lines of code. Boo-hoo-hoo, see me sad? Not really, because I go to the endpoint generator, I choose this database, right? I choose the correct authorization requirements for it. And I click a button and ta-da! I get 10,000 lines of code automatically generated for me, providing me with every single CRUD work towards every single table in my database, 9,280 lines of code. Now go back to HyperID, modules, Chinook. I get albums again, and all of the other buggers, of course. And it produces distinct and aggregate endpoints, etc., etc. You can even have it summarize charts. Here we can see the result of executing an AI function integrated into an AI agent, being ChatGPT search, that summarizes the result of performing a web search. I can choose my now Chinook list the top 5 customers ordered by name. Realize I created this now. I mean, you one button, click one button, ta-da, it's there, right? How I want to create a new artist. Okay, so now I can create a new artist. John Shobing Hansen. Now if I tell it to list all artists, it actually inserted into my, database. It even self-corrects. If I ask it to do something that it fails to do, it self-corrects and reiterates and tries to do it again. Here you can see all artists in my system, right? I can create and wrap these 10,000 lines of code that were automatically produced for me. If I want to have an AI agent with CRUD capacity or the capacity to execute every single Hyperlambda file recursively inside of this folder, ta-da, generate, 10 seconds later, done, etc., 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 etc. So with this system, I can basically produce AI agents 1,000 times faster than every single other software developer on Earth can, period, end of debate. There are 30 million software developers on Earth. I'm faster than them, every last one of them, when it comes to creating AI agents. I did it alone. One human being, one man, one single human being did the thing I just showed you. Every single commit towards that code base is mine. Well, 99.5%. Had a little bit help of with the front end parts, but even the front end, I did most of it. So what is the lesson learned from that? The lesson learned is that if you're an entrepreneur and you're chasing money, you're chasing the wrong thing. It doesn't matter. I can give you $1 trillion and you're still going to fuck up everything. Right? I can give you $1 trillion, quadruple Google freaking dollars and you're still going to waste it. Because it is not a monetary problem, it's a cognitive problem. Implying if you have the will, the resources and the capacity to use the thing that God gave you, which is inside of your skull, over a long enough period of time, you don't need money. That is the lesson that DeepSeek taught us.